I'm James Spann. This is the Weather Xtreme video for Monday morning, November 23rd. It's Thanksgiving week. Always a lot of questions about the weather this time of the year. This morning, it's cold. The coldest morning so far this season. Check it out. The big trough that brought the cold air. The axis now well to the east of the state. And of course, the air very dry. Check out those numbers. On that map, the coldest temperature is 22 at Coleman. Among all the reporting stations I see this morning, the coldest spot is Russellville in Franklin County at 19. That's pretty tough for November in Alabama. You can see down to Mobile and Dothan. They're in the low and mid-30s. Jackson, Mississippi at 28. And we've got freeze warnings in effect for much of the Gulf Coast region. Of course, to the north, you don't see freeze warnings because they've already experienced a significant freeze. But the bottom line is we'll start to warm up this week. That's the good news. And the week looks pretty dry. This is the rain for the next 5 days, valid through Saturday morning, showing a little bit maybe for northwest Alabama. But the really big numbers are well to the west of the state, centered around the Red River. The bullseye is around Sherman, Denison, Texas at 4.6 inches. And, of course, we'll walk you through the dailies here as we approach Thanksgiving. This is today at 12 noon at 500 millibars off the GFS, the 06E run. You can see the trough axis well to the north and east of the state, and today for us, a cloudless sky. And we'll expect a high in the middle 50s today. And that's about 8 degrees below average. Now, tomorrow morning's going to be cold again. I think we see another freeze, lows in the low 30s, but the colder pockets go back in the 20s. And the day will be sunny and warmer with a high in the low 60s in most spots. Okay, this is the big travel day, Wednesday. And again, for the east, we're dry. Birmingham to Boston, you'll find no problems there. For us, we'll expect a high in the, again, low 60s. A few light rain showers begin to break out. Dallas, Fort Worth, up to Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Kansas City, but nothing too heavy and certainly nothing severe. I'd say the biggest issue, it's the snow back in the northwest, parts of Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Nevada with some pretty good mountain snows there. Thanksgiving Day. Rain increases from Texas to the Great Lakes ahead of a cold front. Behind that cold front, a 1041 millibar high. And snow continues in parts of Wyoming and some of the adjacent states. But for us, Thanksgiving Day looks nice, dry, and comfortable. Highs getting up in the mid-60s. And the morning low Thursday morning should be in the upper 40s, so temperatures will feel much better by then. This is Black Friday, the cold front, having a hard time pushing east. If this is right, we're still generally dry, maybe some rain for the northwestern corner of the state. High should be in the 60s. Cold air moves down into the Texas Panhandle, where freezing rain and snow a possibility for places like Amarillo. And very strong winds developing around Denver. All right, this is Saturday. It's Iron Bowl Saturday. And notice there's a big upper trough in the west. We got ridging close by. So this bodes well for the Alabama-Auburn game. If you take this thing on face value, there will be no rain. Maybe some clouds around, but no rain. Temperature should be in the 60s Saturday afternoon. The rain mainly west of the state. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas with snow and freezing rain. And that could be a messy winter storm there for parts of Kansas and the Texas Panhandle, if that verifies. But again, for the now, we're not going to mention rain for the Iron Bowl. And then Sunday, a surface low begins to form west of the state, but still we're relatively dry. We might mention a chance of a shower Sunday, but it certainly doesn't look like a big event. And this is a week from today. We all go back to work on Monday the 30th. The trough gets closer, surface low north of us, and that finally looks like we'll see a decent round of rain and storms on that day. This is the end of the forecast, the middle of next week, Wednesday, the 2nd of December. Troughing to the west, maybe some rain southwest of here, but again, that looks relatively dry. And really, after tonight, we should stay above freezing if this verifies all the way through December 8th, as temperatures get back to where they should be. Highs come down in the upper 40s and low 50s in early December, and lows in the middle 30s, but not quite as cold as what we have right now. And as we get into December, the average high around 60, the average low around 40. And if you add all those numbers up, that's really about where we ought to be for this time of the year. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.